42. Richard DeWetta, Get the Weather Channel.
You're up to date with the latest weather forecast right here on the ESPN Radio Network.
Does having a game on the TV make a sports bar? Wings, etc. in Cape and Jackson beg to differ. They take their sports bar status seriously. Wings, etc. is the host of the SEMO Coaches Show every Monday from noon to 1. You can watch SEMO away games at Wings, etc. Plus, get lunch specials and daily specials like 69-cent wings on Monday, 69-cent rib tips on Tuesday, 59-cent shrimp on Wednesday, 69-cent wings on Thursday and Friday, too. Plus, they've got free Wi-Fi and a full-service bar and craft beer. Wings, etc. The definition of a sports bar.
This is Mike Greenberg for the best in local sports talk. This is Mike Golick for the best in local sports talk and play-by-play. It's SEMO ESPN.
This is a proud presentation of Mississippi River Radio Sports, the sports authority. Live in the studio, it's time for the Red Hawks Coaches Show.
Volume good for you?
Yes. Etc. Hear the Coaches Show each week on SEMO ESPN 1220 and 1470. And also at SEMOESPN.com and the SEMO ESPN app. Also watch the Red
Don't get me in trouble again. You know I didn't finish the game.
Talk to Mike Litz.
Now, let's go live.
He texted me.
Hey, he did big-time basketball at Kansas.
Yeah.
Welcome in another edition of the Red Hawks Coaches Show from Wings Etc. Restaurant. We are in the Cape Girardeau location today. Just a reminder that we will be over in Jackson next week. So we'll shift the scene to the Wings Etc. in Jackson, but today we are in Cape and we're getting you ready for the Ohio Valley Conference basketball tournament. For a fourth consecutive year, Coach Rika Patterson has guided her Red Hawks to the tourney, which will, for a second year, be in Evansville, Indiana. It'll be at the Ford Center. The Red Hawks, they're the number 8 seed, and they will match up with the 3-time reigning regular season and 3-time reigning tournament champion, Belmont Bruins, at 1 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon. It will be the opening game of the entire tournament, the Red Hawks and the Bruins. In the meantime, we want to invite you to stop out at Wings Etc. because they have a full menu waiting for you. And if you have never had their award-winning jumbo wings, you're in luck today because on Mondays, the award-winning jumbo wings are just 69 cents. And so you can take advantage of the Monday special. They've got other food and drink specials throughout the week, and their menu includes a lot more than those famous wings. They have freshly made burgers, and that is an in-depth menu for the burgers themselves. If you've never seen the burger menu, they have wraps, subs, quesadillas, entree salads, smoked ribs, and much more. And if you're interested in their daily half-pound lunch specials, they start at just $6.49 at Wings Etc. Good food, great times at Wings. And we're going to be talking it over with Red Hawks coach Rika Patterson. Carrie Shepard is here. Carrie Shepard, the only player in the Ohio Valley Conference who has hit more three-pointers this season than Carrie Shepard is Darby Maggard of Belmont. And, oh, by the way, Darby Maggard has hit more three-pointers in the history of the Ohio Valley Conference than any women's player ever. So, nothing to be too worried about if Darby Maggard hits a few more three-pointers than you. But we'll talk with Carrie Shepard, a young lady who went over 900 days between Division I games at the University of Missouri and then at Southeast Missouri State. What a journey she has been on, and I'm sure it's going to be fun to talk with Carrie Shepard. Let's welcome in Coach Rika Patterson. Before we talk any hoops, is Carrie Shepard the funniest player on the team?
Oh, wow. We have quite a few characters on the team.
Right.
Carrie is really the hype woman behind everybody. She hypes them up. If somebody's being funny, she makes it even more funny by hyping them up. But there could be a competition between Carrie and Taylor Pruitt for the funniest on the team.
Now, that's interesting because Taylor Pruitt is a freshman. So she's kind of working her way into it by the time she's a senior. I mean, she may come to games with actual material.
She might. Taylor's funny is a little clueless funny,
okay.
And she's very honest and sincere with it. That's what makes it really funny because I don't think she's trying to be, but she is. And then Carrie does a good job of hyping her up to keep it up, and she keeps going.
So Carrie is Taylor's personal hype person.
She is actually the whole team's personal hype person. You ask anybody. She talks more trash than anybody. And again, that's her way of hyping things up. If somebody's about to take a shot, she believes it's going in, so she's hyping them up for that as well. But, yeah, she is the official hype woman for SEMO women's basketball.
And for those who don't know what a hype woman is, we will pose that question to Carrie Shepard. We'll get the mechanics of being a hype woman on the team. Carrie Shepard will join us coming up in the second half of the show. Nate Savarino from Southeast Athletics is going to join us as well. He is signing autographs right now, but he will be available, we're told, later in the show, so we'll talk with Nate Savarino. Before we get to your matchup with Belmont this past Saturday and then the OVC tournament game, I don't know how many people follow it closely, maybe a show of hands. How many people know that Tecia Thompson won the scoring title in the Ohio Valley Conference? Her final 2 games, 32 points and 31 points. And she edges out Murray State's Evelyn Adebayo right at the wire. Adebayo went in with a slight lead. And, you know, who knows? Tecia missed a game because of attending a funeral of a relative. It may not have been as close coming down the wire had Tecia Thompson played in that game. But how about that? In her sophomore season, Tecia Thompson, who most of the year I think was 4th in the league in scoring, that's really finishing strong. And I got to go back and find out the last time a women's player led this conference in scoring. It's been a while.
Tecia has really sort of turned the key, I guess, and got over the hump a little bit and taken her game to another level. This last week of basketball, mentally she's been in a different place. Physically she's been in a different place on both sides of the ball. And when she's in a zone, man, watch out. I think she's 6 of 6 from the three-point line in the last 2 games. And I think
what is happening? All of a sudden she's a three-point shooter. Is Carrie hyping her into being a three-point shooter?
You know, Carrie talked about that earlier as far as we've been doing this for the last 3 weeks. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, our young ladies get into the gym and they get on the gun for 20 minutes. And in that time, our kids have made over 20,000 shots over the last 3 weeks of basketball. And once you make shots, there's a lot of confidence in that. Like, the ball feels different, you feel different, and you feel so confident in shooting the basketball. And the last 2 games, we've shot it pretty well. And I think Tecia is using that confidence from getting in the gym, shooting on the gun, which is a shooting machine, I should say, to be confident on the court. And how about this? So she led the league in scoring, and she doesn't shoot a lot of threes. In an age where everybody wants to shoot the 3, they want to spread it out and drive and kick for threes, she's someone who has found a way to get to the rim, get to the free throw line, and score a lot of baskets.
No one has gotten to the free throw line, and no one has made more free throws when getting to the line in the league than Tecia Thompson. Coach, this is a legitimate question. I know she's your player. But if all of a sudden she's a threat from three-point range, how do you guard her in our conference?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that there will be a lot of coaches coming up with different game plans, and I'm sure on Wednesday, Bart and Belmont will have a game plan in trying to make it tough for her to catch the basketball. But she can do a variety of things. She can go get offensive rebounds. She can post up. She can come off ball screens and make really good decisions with the ball and passing to her teammates. So it's not about her scoring. She just wants to do whatever she can to help the team. And if it's scoring, then that's great. If it's defending or rebounding, she can do that as well.
So Tecia Thompson winning the league scoring title when the Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year voting comes out. Traditionally, we have seen the voting go. Oftentimes, the leading scorer in the league gets a lot of consideration. But it seems like more often than not, teams that are winning the title or competing at the very top of the standings, that's normally where you see the Player of the Year going. But I've got to think Tecia is going to get some votes.
I would think she would.
Especially with in conference games, she led the league in scoring too. So overall and in conference play.
Yeah, I think, what was it, last year, Kinshun James from Murray State won it, and she led the league in scoring, but they finished in the middle of the pack a season ago. So who knows what's going to happen. There are a lot of talented players in this league. Belmont has 2 kids who are in the top 5 in scoring. Morehead State for a while had the top 2 scorers in the league. Evelyn Adebayo down at Murray State has been averaging a double-double pretty much all season. So she's in great company, and my vote, if I had one that I could vote for her, would absolutely be for Tecia Thompson to be the Player of the Year.
Now, the way the voting goes in the OVC, it's the coaches and the sports information directors. They vote on the preseason poll. They vote on postseason awards. The only stipulation is that you are unable to vote for your own player. Does that sound reasonable to you? I mean, that's been the long-standing tradition with this voting.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that's probably the way it is in every conference. You don't want to vote on your own kid. But I do think based off what she's done throughout the season, she's definitely given herself a good chance of being the Player of the Year.
Well, not only is she the leading scorer in the Ohio Valley Conference, but she's also 8th in the league in rebounding, Coach. And when you talk about, well, okay, she's a great offensive player. What's she doing on the defensive end? Oh, by the way, she's 5th in the league in steals, both ends of the floor.
Absolutely. And she finished the season in conference shooting 46% from the three-point line, I think that was.
Which is great. And by the way, Darby Maggard does not appear in the top 15 in steals, just throwing it out there because she was the preseason Player of the Year. So she kind of already had a leg up in everyone's attention before the season started. Fair statement with Darby Maggard, who's a great player.
Absolutely. Darby is an extremely talented young lady, and she can put her team on her back and score for them and make it difficult to defend them because of her ability to shoot the three and to shoot the mid-range shot. But like you said, Tecia Thompson is an all-around basketball player. She can shoot it, she can score it, she can defend, she can rebound, and that's saying a whole lot.
And she does not have enough attempts to qualify, but Darby Maggard is a 96% free throw shooter. What I thought was odd, she has missed 3 free throws this year. 2 of them have been against you. One in Nashville and one at the Show Me Center. She only missed 3 all year.
Wow. I don't maybe who knows what Carrie Shepard is saying on the line whenever she's shooting a free throw.
Well, it's one of those scenarios with Darby Maggard. You just saw her, Coach. 26 points. She went 9 of 10 from the free throw line, 5 of 10 from three-point range. For those who have never heard the story, when you were at Ball State University, you were an assistant coach at Ball State, your job just prior to coming to Southeast Missouri State, and you were coaching under Brady Sallee, who had all that success at Eastern Illinois University, and that's what got him the job at Ball State. And you were an assistant for Brady when he was at Eastern Illinois. You actually were recruiting Darby Maggard to come to Ball State. How does that story go? Because you kind of saw Darby Maggard as a college player a little differently than the Ball State head coach Brady Sallee did.
Yeah, I thought Darby was an extreme competitor. And if you're going to play the point and be that small, you got to be the toughest player on the floor and be the most competitive player on the floor. And then her ability to shoot, just flat out shoot, no matter where she was, would make it difficult for teams to defend her, and she would open up so many different things for other players on the floor. And so in our recruiting meetings, I have been known to voice my opinion about things and repeatedly and be strong-willed with certain areas. But I thought that she would be great for Ball State. I thought she would be great in the MAC, and she could help Ball State win championships. And Brady didn't think she would, and so she ends up going to Belmont in the OVC, and I end up getting a job in the OVC. And for 4 straight years, I've had to face Darby Maggard.
Well, one thing we can say about Brady Sallee at Ball State, Darby Maggard now has 6 championships under her belt, and she's going for a 7th in this tournament. We're hoping she gets knocked off in the first round. But 6 championships later, I guess Darby Maggard kind of proved Rika Patterson was right. She's an impact Division I player, even if Ball State didn't think so.
Can you say that part again? I don't get to hear that off. No, I'm joking.
Well, that's why I wanted to tell the story. I just don't think a lot of people know the story.
Yeah. I thought she was a winner before. I watched her go against Power 5 guards and hold her own. And you can't teach winning. You either have it or you can teach drills, you can teach how to get a stop, but at your core, you got to have something in you that does not want to lose, and that's what she is. And so we're going to have our hands full on Wednesday, but I'm proud of how our young ladies finished the game on Saturday. And we'll see if we can make a few adjustments and put some things together to put our young ladies in a position to be successful.
You know something else, when I watched Maggard play, we just saw her on Saturday. She doesn't look really quick off the dribble for a point guard. I mean, Adriana Murphy is much quicker than Darby Maggard. She still gets by people, though.
Change of speed. And anytime you can shoot the ball, like she can go straight from a dribble right into her shot. She can have a dribble pull back right into her shot, which makes it very difficult to know if she's going to shoot. And so that puts the defense off balance. But she has a great change of speed and really good handles and a quick release. So she definitely uses that to her advantage.
All right, Carrie Shepard, a monster game. We mentioned Tecia Thompson's 31 points and 5 rebounds. Tecia also had 4 assists and only 1 turnover in 34 minutes. I guess before we talk about Carrie Shepard, the fact you only had 8 turnovers in the basketball game. In a conference game, I don't know what your season low is. I'm guessing that's the season low for a conference game.
Last time we played Belmont, we had 8 turnovers.
Okay. Now, they don't press.
They don't.
So you're probably not going to have as many as maybe a pressing team, but still 8 turnovers, you're really giving yourself a better opportunity to compete with the Bruins.
And you absolutely have to limit your mistakes and limit your turnovers so you give yourself a chance. And I thought our young ladies did that. We didn't force things. We played good team ball, and our young ladies hit shots. Like they literally hit shots, and Carrie Shepard hit some tough ones. And Tecia Thompson got us going in the first half. I think she had 19 points at halftime. Proud of how we were gelling offensively.
And when you play a team like Belmont, you really have to play offense that particular night. You may not have to against every team in the league, but it just seems like over the last few years you have to be able to play offense on the day you play Belmont. Is that fair?
Yes. Yeah. Their defense is more of a prevent defense. They sit underneath you. They keep high hands. They're not going to pressure you. They're not going to guard you tight, depending on personnel. So they changed their ball screen defense with Carrie because she got a little hot, or she got hot, I should say, and they tried to front Carrie a little bit later on in the game. They tried to front Tecia. So I would expect we'll probably see that on Wednesday. But they're more of a prevent. Just sit there, try not to give up paint points, and limit you to one shot.
Well, I think you certainly, if nothing else, getting ready to go into this matchup, is it a fair statement to say your players know they can play with Belmont after what we saw Saturday?
Yeah, I think our young ladies are very confident in how we're playing. I think from the first time we played them to now, they've just been putting in more work on themselves and how to be a great team and a great teammate. And what I saw over the past week is a team that truly cares about each other. And seeing that on and off the floor, I think that's allowed us to play with confidence and play with a little bit of a swagger that you would hope that you have at this point in the season. You know,
also, oftentimes you see this, Coach, you've been around the game a long time. When the finish line is in sight for a senior, sometimes some things can change in their game. I'm seeing that in Losmeet Lutea and Delapo Balogun. You're seeing 2 seniors here. Adriana Murphy has been strong down the stretch as well. But all of a sudden, these seniors see the finish line, and they're playing well. Have you seen that a lot in your career?
Yeah. There's something about when you have experienced a lot of things that you just know what to expect, and you know what's required. You know what you have to do, and they just go out there, and they are solid. Like, they're solid in what they're doing. They're solid in what we're doing. There's confidence in it. Again, you find a young woman who's confident, there's nothing she can't do. And I think, that's what you hope for your seniors, that they are playing extremely confident as they finish their careers. And
I do want you to explain this one, because the first time you talked about it, it was absolutely hysterical. I've heard the term referenced before, but with Losmeet Lutea, and this is a young lady from Kinshasa, Zaire, Africa. If you're not familiar with Kinshasa, that is where Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle. I think that's when people around the world had heard of Kinshasa. And so here she is playing in a different country, coming down the stretch here, and I know she has been a joy for you to coach, and you have described her as she's got that old woman game that you would see at the YMCA. Now explain that, because anybody who's ever played YMCA ball has played against that person. You're like, they're slow, and they just scored 30 points. What happened?
Yeah, there's nothing going to be flashy about what Los does. She would probably prefer to play just in the half court and not have to move, which is a big thing. Like, in the YMCA, if you get up and down the floor, you get up. If you stay in the half court, that's even better. Yeah. She can score one-on-one. She can shoot it. And then all of a sudden you look up and, like you said, she scored 30. And it's like, well, she hadn't even moved. But she is a talented and skilled basketball player, got a really good basketball IQ, really good feel for the game and how to score. And sometimes she'll take those off-balance shots, but she will use that square. And again, that's old school. These young kids today, they don't like to use the square, but Los will kiss that thing off the glass, and she's got a really good chance of making it when she does that. It doesn't matter where she is on the court. She can find that square and find that glass and just put it up there with a good amount of touch. And again, good old YMCA.
Why is that such a lost art to use the backboard?
Because everybody wants to switch things. When you shoot threes, you don't use the backboard, right? So they like the prettiness of swishing. But I like it when it goes in, and when you use the square, hey, your chances of it going in go up.
So Los Milute, also, you have coached a lot of players from a lot of different venues. But, boy, what a transition that is to come from Kinshasa and to come here, not only the language barrier, but, boy, you don't know how you're going to be received by teammates and everything. And, boy, it's a family scenario with Losme, isn't it?
It really is. I don't know if people know, but Los has a 5-year-old little girl named Happiness. And I can't imagine what it was like for her to make the decision to come over here and pursue her dream of getting a college education and playing basketball and putting herself in a position to go back and help her family. Again, I hate leaving my parents when I go home for Christmas, and I know I'm going to see them soon. And Los hasn't been home for 4 years now. So that tells you a lot about who she is as a person, how strong she is, how tough she is, how loving and caring she is. And we're definitely going to miss her in that locker room. Her personality has shined a lot this year. She talks a little bit more than what she did the first year. I think her relationship, her bond with Sarah Balfour, one of our freshmen, is pretty sweet and very genuine. But, yeah, we're going to miss it. Los is funny as well. She's really funny, too.
All right. Speaking of family, I believe you have had some family in town for, boy, how long has it been now?
Oh, wow. After the Nashville trip, my mom came in, and she's been here for a little while. And then my dad joined us for Austin P. For the Austin. Well, when we played Austin P. So, yeah, they've been here. Again, I eat good at night. My dog is very spoiled. My house is cleaned, and I just get to focus on basketball. So I'm grateful that my parents are in town.
So you're encouraging them they can stay as long as they need to.
Yeah, as long as they need to, and they come as often as they want. I am very much so a spoiled child right now. I get to focus on basketball, and honestly, that really helps me out because I don't have to think, oh, my God, I need to do laundry, or dang, I need to clean up, or I don't have to worry about those things.
And for those who don't know, and many do, basketball runs in the family with your parents and you. Explain that to everybody.
Yes, both my parents were coaches. My mother was a high school coach for 24 years, won over 500 games. My dad coached football and basketball, and they both played in college, and they're both in their college's Hall of Fame. Really good athletes.
That's pressure on you. They're in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. See what happened was what had happened was
what was?
Yeah, but I grew up in the gym. I tell people all the time, I don't know how to babysit kids. I never had to do that. But as a young,
you could fill out a score sheet, though.
Yes, as a young kid, my dad would bring home his games, his VHS tapes, and I would do the stats, and he'd give me like $7 per game. And so I've been watching film all my life.
All right, and when you decided that you were going to get into coaching, was a pretty easy decision for you?
I knew I wanted to coach. I also knew I did not want to teach in high school because I think teachers' jobs are the most important things, because if you can't read and write and do math, then what type of life can you have? And I thought there was a lot of pressure in teaching in school, so I didn't want that. I thought that was too much. So I wanted to coach in college, but then I realized about 10 years into this, I am a teacher, and my lesson plans are, yes, practice plans, but I'm also teaching life lessons to young women who will leave us and go on and hopefully have successful and productive lives. So, I knew I wanted to coach for a long time. And I had two of the best role models in coaching to have.
And for those who don't know, you have a national championship ring. Explain where you got it and how often do you have to flash it?
I was at Baylor for 5 years, 7 total. I was a GA there, and then I went back and was an assistant coach on the staff of the first team to ever go 40-0 and win a national championship. We won it out in Denver. I actually got my parents' national championship rings too, because I wanted to thank them for everything they did to put me in a position to live out my dream. I bring it out for recruiting, and I actually was thinking about bringing it to Evansville with us.
You haven't made a decision on it?
I have not. But I think I might. Not the really big one, because I have small hands, and the big one is just crazy big. But the NCAA gives you one for making the Final Four, and if you win it, it says national championship. So I may wear that one. All
right, that was with Baylor. And Brittany Griner, one of the more famous college basketball players in the last, quarter of a century. I mean, everyone knew who Brittany Griner was when she played. She's having a terrific WNBA career. What was it like? Because I know you worked with the post players. You worked with Brittany.
I did. The first time I ever worked with post players was Rachel Galligan, who went on to be Player of the Year here at Eastern Illinois in the Ohio Valley Conference.
I think she averaged about 35 against SEMO in her career, Rachel Galligan.
Yeah, so she was my very first post player I coached. Brittany Griner was an extreme talent. Very rarely do you get to see a young lady who's 6'8", who can dunk the basketball. I remember her senior year, and I was thinking, I need to really burn these images of her in my head, because I don't know if I'll ever see this as a coach. Now, there are quite a few young ladies who are out there dunking, even high school kids that are dunking that you can see on social media, which I think is great. But Brittany was a special talent and a good person.
So as you get ready for Belmont, what are your thoughts? Maybe you don't have any strong thoughts one way or the other, that you just literally played them.
This is the third time this has happened to us in our 4 years going.
Yep.
Year one, we played SIUE at home to finish the regular season, then had to turn around and play them right away.
What was it, a 2-point game?
Yeah, went to overtime.
Overtime, right?
Went to overtime. We had a lead, gave up an offensive rebound late, and they won in overtime. And then last year, we played UT Martin at home, the last regular season game. I think we lost by 1, and then had to quickly turn around and play them in the tournament the following week. And again, that was a close ball game at the very end as well. So this is the third year for us to have to do this. So those young ladies who have been here, Dop and Adri, from the beginning, they know what this is going to be like, and having to quickly turn around and play a team. And actually, we lost those games leading up to the tournament. So we don't have to really do a whole lot with scouting report, because our kids know exactly who we're playing and what they do. We'll go back and watch film of things that we did well, areas that we definitely want to capitalize on, and then areas that we have to improve quickly.
Basketball certainly is a game of adjustments, Coach. Are you in anticipation? Do you, when preparing a game plan, do you look at the film of the game and anticipate adjustments that they may make or did make in the second half of your game, which you referenced, in anticipation of what they might do and what you might do to counter it, since you just played them?
Yeah, you always want to try to put your young ladies in a position to be successful and be prepared for anything that they may see. And so we'll go over some things today that offensively, again, where areas that we have a strength that we want to attack, and different ways that maybe they'll be guarded and be able to attack no matter how they're guarded. They'll be prepared for that.
Boy, this Jenny Roy, first of all, it seems like she's been in the league for about 7 or 8 years. almost had a triple-double. She's got a nose for rebounding. She's not a great shooter, but somehow she gets, down to the post. She's a good finisher, terrible free throw shooter, but, of course, in the game against you guys, she's 3 for 5. I mean, she's a 44% free throw shooter. That's almost unheard of, especially for an all-conference caliber player. So your thoughts on what do you do to just try to contain her a little bit?
Boxing her out is the first thing that you have to focus on because she crashes every single shot. She picks up the flight of the ball and puts herself in a position to go get it. I think she had 20 rebounds in one game this year, and that's not an easy thing to do, and she did it. Because she can handle the basketball as well, she'll play the point sometimes and let Darby play off the ball. And in her ability to do that, she's able to drive. And when teams suck in, she's able to make that extra pass. And they're a good offensive team, so they can catch and score. Their post players can catch and finish. And then when she's on offense and she's got the ball in her hands, while she doesn't shoot a lot of threes, she can hit threes, but she does a great job of attacking the basket. And so you got to be able to defend dribble penetration. There were a couple of times that we did not box her out, and she got offensive rebounds, especially down the stretch. She got a couple of big and ones. I was talking to the coaches. I said, shoot, this is tournament time. It's like the playoffs. There are no layups. And since she's a 44% free throw shooter, we may have to make sure she doesn't get any and ones and she earns them at the free throw line.
All right. Before you came on the scene at Southeast, it was in the I think it was 98 or 99. Murray State's men had a 47-game home court winning streak. SEMO went over there, and Gary Garner, the head coach at the time, got ejected from that game in the first half of the basketball game, okay?
Okay.
So and they were down double figure. They were down big. It was not looking good. And so assistant coach Tom Schubert takes over, and they come back and win the game and snap the Racers' 47-game home court winning streak. You picked up a second technical foul in the first half, or in the third quarter. It was a 17-point game at the time. Shantae Crutchfield, who's got a lot of head coaching experience, all of a sudden the team rallies. I know they're playing for you. I thought she did an outstanding job bringing the team back to make it a one-possession game. Your thoughts on what Shantae Crutchfield was able to do and the way that your kids showed a lot of fight once the second technical foul was handed out there in the second half?
So proud of this program. Our coaches are amazing. Coach Crutchfield did an amazing job of focusing on just what was in front of her and keeping those young ladies engaged, making the right calls. She and Coach Morgan who's here today, they worked together so well during that time. As I sat in my office and watched the game on my computer, I was just so proud of the two of them and the way they handled that situation. I never want to do anything that's going to embarrass this program or this university, and I will always fight for my players.
And for anybody that wasn't there, that's all you were doing. T.C. Thompson clearly gets fouled on a baseline jumper that's an air ball. When do we see Thompson shooting air balls? Crashes to the floor. You were hoping that you might get a whistle there. It did not happen. And then maybe after the timeout, maybe you were still talking a little bit about that particular play. But anybody that saw the play knew exactly what your conversation was on the sideline.
Yeah. I'm not going to talk much about that.
No, we don't have to talk about it.
Because I'm not trying to get in trouble. But, again, as coaches, you want your players to fight, and you want to fight for them. And I thought the last thing I said to the team in the huddle, I told them, I said, guys, you don't need me because you have each other, and you care so much about each other. You're willing to do whatever it takes. We already knew the game plan. We already knew what we needed to do defensively. We knew how we wanted to attack offensively. The coaches made some great calls in the second half of getting our kids shots. And there was this energy on that bench. There was this energy in the Show Me Center. Again, I could hear the fans booing, and I could hear them cheering, and I could hear the passion that they had for these young ladies, because they saw them going out there just playing as hard as they could and playing as tough as they could. And I think all of our fans just want our kids to do that, want the teams to do that. Just play hard and play tough, and whatever happens, happens. But the fans definitely helped. Even the team said in the locker room, "Ooh, we didn't even have to say defense because the fans were saying it for us." So it was a little bit of like everybody just coming together and doing just a little bit more to help the team out. But it was great to see and hear. Again, I hate that I wasn't out there. I never want to do anything that's going to hurt the program or the team or the university or even in this community. But really proud of how our young ladies, our coaching staff, our adobo, right? Everybody just stepped up and helped out, however.
I mean, every coach is going to get technical fouls. It's just that's the way the game is. The point I was going to try and hammer home with you was you show your players how much you are fighting for them. Mm-hmm. That changes their mindset, doesn't it? Because the old adage in coaching is they don't care about how much you know until they know about how much you care. They could tell how much you cared about them just in that little brief synopsis.
Yeah, I think that they recognized that I was fighting for them. And like I said, I'm being escorted out, and they're like, yes, they're like, they were clapping, their eyes were focused. It's almost like they had a second wind where they were like, okay, we got to get this done. We got to fight. And our young ladies hit some tough shots. They made some big plays to make it a 7-point ball game going into the fourth quarter. We were down 17 at that time. So for them to be able to cut into that lead, and then it's a 2-point ball game, and we can talk about a call here or there that could change things, or maybe a missed 3 seconds that could, and maybe before the foul. But they did what they needed to do to show these fans how much they care about this program and this community.
And you punch your ticket to the tournament. It will be for a 4th straight year, 1 o'clock. Real quickly, game plan. How do you beat Belmont? Because, I mean, when they lost their first game this year in conference play, they had won 47 straight conference games. I mean, this program has not only been elite for this conference, but for mid-major women's basketball.
Yeah, it has. I think there was Baylor was playing on TV, and they were talking about the winning streaks. And it was like Baylor, then the next one was Belmont, at like 15 wins for at that time, consecutive wins. How do you beat them? Well, the team that makes the least amount of mistakes will win. There's no pressure on us. Right? We're the 8th seed.
House money.
Yeah, we're the 8th seed. Yeah, we played them close, but they've got seniors who, like you alluded to earlier, have been to the NCAA tournament 3 years in a row, have won the regular season 3 years in a row, and anyone who's played in a tournament game knows that first game is so hard to win. So we got to limit our mistakes. Our defense has to be much better than what it was the other day. Our rebounding has to be better. And then we've got to make sure we are aggressive, we attack them, and we play with confidence.
All right. On the final question, on the men's side, okay, the top 2 seeds get double byes to the semifinals. Why don't the women have the same setup in the tournament? I know it's a voting thing, but the top 2 seeds don't even have to play in the first 2 rounds. But in the women's side of the bracket, 8 plays 1, and everybody has to play on that opening day. Why do you think a different set of rules?
I don't really know. Those coaches who have won a whole lot, they probably have a little bit more pull and how decisions are made. I think at this level, most conferences want their best teams to have the best shot of making it to the
which is why you get the double byes for the top 2
but
teams.
Also, a lot of coaches know that if you don't play for a while and then you play on a team who's played 2 games already and they're feeling good, they're used to the gym floor, they're used to the balls, they're used to the environment, then hey, anything can happen. But that's March Madness. Yep. Anything can happen on any given night. We don't have to beat them 3 times in a row. We just need to beat them once.
One time, and it's 1 o'clock on Wednesday. We will see you. And by the way, how you like the Evansville and the building? What a great arena.
Great facility. The Saturday night we got an email from our hotel, which I thought was very nice and welcoming. I thought Evansville has been very welcoming to the OVC and to the fans and to the teams. And so good facility, close to for our fans to come on Wednesday. We went on Wednesday, then they can come on Friday as well.
All right, we'll see you at the Ford Center on Wednesday, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you.
Coach Rika Patterson, and we wish her the best of luck. We'll be there. You can hear the game, as always, on, it's probably going to be on Real Rock 99.3 FM because we've got baseball on Wednesday with SIU Carbondale. So make that adjustment. Real Rock 99.3 FM, realrock993.com as well. Carrie Shepard for the Redhawks is going to join us when we come back. Timeout here from Wings, etc. and Cape Redhawks Coaches Show on SEMO ESPN.
Does having a game on the TV make a sports bar? Wings, etc. in Cape and Jackson beg to differ. They take their sports bar status seriously. Wings, etc. is the host of the SEMO Coaches Show every Monday from noon to 1. You can watch SEMO away games at Wings, etc. Plus, get lunch specials and daily specials like 69-cent wings on Monday, 69-cent rib tips on Tuesday, 59-cent shrimp on Wednesday, 69-cent wings on Thursday and Friday, too. Plus, they've got free Wi-Fi and a full-service bar and craft beer. Wings, etc. The definition of a sports bar.
My name is Shannon. I had LASIK done by Dr. Parker yesterday. This morning I woke up and saw the alarm clock on the other side of the room for the first time ever. Today, after LASIK, I can see everything. I can see the other side of the doctor's office right now. I can see down the street. I mean, that's what I noticed yesterday. I would just walk outside and look at all the houses that I could never, see before. And this morning, taking the dogs out, just looking around, I can see everything today, and I couldn't see anything yesterday. My experience at eye care specialist was amazing. I mean, I just can't put into words how amazing it is to wake up and see. It's absolutely incredible. Thank you for everything.
See what you've been missing with Eye LASIK from Dr. Sean Parker. Call Eye Care Specialist to schedule your free consultation at 866-DR-LASIK or visit LASIK4me.co. That's LASIK, the number 4, ME.co.
Eye Care Specialist, caring for the needs of your special eyes.
And now, your ESPN Radio Network local weather forecast.
Cold air will envelop much of the region through midweek. We'll start a slow warming trend toward the end of the week. Partly cloudy here today, 30. Clear tonight, low 16. Sunny tomorrow with a high 36 and sunshine for Wednesday, 38. Showers likely Thursday up to 42. Richard Duetta, Get the Weather Channel.
You're up to date with the latest weather forecast right here on the ESPN Radio Network.
Please make plans to join us next week. We'll be talking spring sports, and boy, the baseball and softball teams are off to tremendous starts to their season. We'll start our spring shows next week as we continue the Redhawks Coaches Show, and it will be in Jackson next week. So we hope you'll join us in Jackson for the Redhawks Coaches Show, and we hope you'll join us if you got time. Stop by for lunch. Their daily half-pound lunch specials start at just $6.99 Mondays. Their award-winning jumbo wings check in at just 69 cents. And their appetizer lineup includes their ultimate nachos. They've got deep-fried pickle spears here at Wings. And, of course, you'll notice immediately all the high-def flat-screen TVs with the best sports programming and the comfortable laid-back atmosphere. You can watch spring training baseball, college basketball. You can do it all right here at Wings, etc. Let's welcome in Redhawks. I guess we thought she was going to be a senior, but she's only a junior. Carrie Shepard, who is from Steele, Missouri. Welcome in to you, Carrie. Now talk a little bit about this. You have been given a 6th year of eligibility by the NCAA. That is the rarest ruling that there is in collegiate sports, that the NCAA grants a 6th year. How excited were you when you heard about something like this? And we want to let everybody know your story about why you're getting a 6th year.
Whenever Robert, he emailed me, and I got like a mass email from like everyone, and the first call I made was to my mom. It's like, Mama, look, God, look what God did for us. And it's just amazing because a lot of people were telling me how rare the situation was. But when like big situations like that come, I just prepare for whatever, pray about it, and I just leave it alone because most likely I'm gonna mess it up. So I don't want to mess up anything. So, but yeah, it was like an act of grace. Like I got another chance to do something that I love to do. So it was really I cried on the phone with my mom, but it was amazing. It was an amazing feeling.
So those who don't know, you played 2 years at the University of Missouri. You played in 28 games, and then you decided, I'm transferring to Southeast Missouri State. NCAA rules say once you transfer, you have to sit out 1 year. You did your sitting, still being able to work out with the team. And then just prior to last season, you tore your ACL in your knee. Tell us about that experience. You had already sat out a year. You're excited about the season, and then all of a sudden, something happens to take your season away.
Yep. It was crazy. I'm like, man, I'm doing all this work. We putting in all this work. Everything's good. First team workout. I'm like, last drill, boom, it happens. I'm like, and I went down, and I remember Coach P telling everybody, like, go to the locker room, and she was like, You're fine. You're okay. And so I finally stopped crying, and he was like, do you need help? I'm like, no, I don't need no help. I'm finna walk off. And I went back down, and I honestly didn't know what it was. I was like, yeah, just give me some ibuprofen. But that night, they're like, you're going to need something stronger. And so we went to the doctor. It was on a weekend, so we went to the doctor that following week. Got the results on Tuesday, then had surgery on Thursday. And so yeah, I've never had any like major injuries like that before. But yeah, it put things in perspective for me. Just like you never know when it's gonna be your last game. You never know what could happen out there. Anything could happen. But for me to get that extra chance, it's just like it's overwhelming, amazing feeling.
So you rehab all the way back from torn anterior cruciate ligament. And that's after sitting out the entire 2016 season because of transfer rules. And when you played your opening game this season, it was 960 days since you had played a Division I game. The last Division I game you played in, because I pulled the box score, March 21st of 2016 at the University of Missouri, 960 days. To think that you may not have been a little rusty would probably not be the right statement, right?
Oh, I went in. Coach said, "You're gonna play in the exhibition game." I'm like, "What? Like me? Like I'm gonna play?" And so first I was like, "I'm just let it fly. Just go ahead. Just as soon as you get out there, just let it fly." And I think I hit like one shot that whole night, and it was like, "You're just getting the rust off." And I'm just like, I'm just happy to be out there at that point. But 960 days. That's unreal.
That's a long time. I mean, now I've talked to a lot of athletes that have gone through physical rehab. Did it ever even enter your mind, man, I wonder if I'm ever going to play again or if I'm ever going to be the same player again?
Yeah, it was definitely will I ever be the same again? But especially when it just came to my mind, like, maybe God doesn't want me to be that same player. He wants me to be a better player. And if this is what has to happen for me to be a better player, and honestly, I think it has helped me because I got to watch everything and just see where I could take advantage of how I'm going to prepare to play in this league. And so it was actually, the whole thing was a blessing in disguise.
All right, now, knee braces have come a long way over the years. Some of those things used to be big and heavy and cumbersome, and it looked like players are dragging their legs up the floor when they're trying to run. Big knee braces are a lot lighter now, and it's not as encumbering as they used to be. Tell us about what it was like to make that adjustment, because athletes aren't used to playing with braces on.
Yeah. Well, it is really light, but I am pretty small, so the brace is pretty much my leg. So it's not like it's in the way or anything. The thing is, I've mastered is like getting that right fit, because you don't want it too tight and you don't want it too loose, obviously. But I've used it so much that I know how I like it, when I like it, how I want to flex it. And sometimes when I try to do it a little too tight, it'll just pop off, and that's when it gets a little annoying. But other than that, it don't really bother me. I can't wait to play without it, though.
I have a theory on this, because anybody that has watched you run, you limp while you run. You got a hitch when you're running or when you're walking a little bit. And my theory is your knee's fine, it doesn't hurt, but when you were rehabbing, the hitch kind of appeared, and now it's kind of still there. Is that even close to? Is that theory totally out of the realm?
It could be. I just try to run with the brace though. It doesn't let you fully flex your leg, like straighten it, because that's the position you don't want your leg to be in to tear at ACL. But yeah, I just run. When I run, I just go. If it hurts, you just go, because most times you don't even feel it. So yeah, and there's more rehabbing that I could do this summer that I can't wait to do postseason to make sure we try to get that hitch a little bit out so it ain't as noticeable. But yeah, I know it's the hitch. They call it a hitch in my giddy up, but I don't know what that is. I just keep running.
So you had 73 3-pointers during the regular season. Only Darby Maggard, who you saw on Saturday, hit more 3-pointers. What is it like to be in a zone? Because on Saturday night, you go 6 of 9. I mean, you were on the threshold of probably feeling like you're in the zone. And even when shooters go through slumps, the old saying is shooters shoot, and they want you to shoot. And I know Coach P wants you to shoot. What's it like to be a shooter and to be in a quote-unquote zone?
It's crazy. There's a lot of emotion that goes into it. And I feel like, for me, like, my emotion starts when I see like TC or Adrian, my teammates, like going after it, because that gets me going. And it's crazy. My first 3 that I hit that game was actually off a move that I do just in like workouts. So I did the move and it felt good. I'm like, oh, you're in trouble. Like that felt good. Like, so it's like I said, like on my double Brooke, she sent me a quote that's like, you're either on or you do. And as much as I shoot and work on those shots and stuff in my spare time, I know it's gonna fall. Like my coaches always tell me, like, hey Shep, keep shooting, like you got that, like that it's going, that the next one's going in. Because I always joke around and I'm saying, bro, I don't miss twice. Like I don't miss twice, and then I missed that twice. I'm like, watch the next one. So it's just a confidence. But that game, it felt good. It was like, you can't guard me. Like that was the feeling, and I knew that, like, when we needed a bucket, I knew the ball was coming to me, so I've already prepared for that moment.
All right, we need about 6 more 3-pointers on Wednesday. You up for it?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Carrie Shepard, described by Coach P as the hype woman of the team. Explain to us what kind of responsibilities are you lugging around as the team hype woman?
All you have to do is scream when they do something. They like it. It's like it's crazy. They'll dance and I just yeah, and then just look at them in their eyes and they're feeling it and just go. I could get them to do anything. That's what I do. I just instigate. That's what I call it. Cause they crack a joke. I'm like, that's funny, isn't it? Keep telling them, and it's not really funny, but they think it's funny. So you just gotta tell them what they want to hear, and they'll do whatever you want them to do. I'm telling you.
You know what's interesting, on bus trips, on road trips, very rarely is Carrie Shepard silent on the buses. That's I thought that was very interesting. My first road trip this year.
Yeah, they always sleep. Like, how can you sleep on I can never sleep.
No,
on
I can't sleep on a bus either.
But they always go to sleep, so I'm just, like, annoying and nagging. I'm like, get up, you ain't sleep. Or wake up, let's watch a movie. I just like laughing, because I feel like when you're laughing, you can't smile you can't laugh and smile without the other one. So I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to, like, just enjoy the time that we have together, because, like this is our last team, so we won't be on the bus with Adri Dopperlos again. So it's just like laughing, joking with them, because that moment's gone after whenever we lose. So it's like, take advantage of it. And we have such a funny team. Who doesn't want to laugh with all of them? So
now, for those who don't know, you've already graduated with your degree in marketing. How proud were you there? And I bet your family was pretty proud to see that.
Yeah, I'm actually just one out of my household to even graduate high school. So to go to that, and then school has always been important. You can't leave the house. As soon as you get off the bus, my mom's outside waiting for you, because she go check your backpack. And if you got work, you can't go to the park and play with nobody until their homework's done. And so it's just all of that. Like,
you better start doing it on the bus, that right?
Mm-hmm, on your laptop or something, because she's going to call. Did you do your stuff? I'm like, yes, ma'am. But she, all of that is just, like, showing my appreciation for her. Like, she didn't have to pay a dime for that. But the sacrifices that she did make for me to be in that position, I want to make sure I'm giving everything back to show my appreciation for that. So, yeah, that was a big moment. And, like, as an athlete, we kind of take those things for granted, because we do our grades just to be able to play. it's not necessarily like the end result, but to know that like, hey, I have a college degree that I didn't pay 1 cent for it. And then I talk to normal people, and they're like, I have student loans and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what? You had to pay for that? And so it just shows how much of a blessing that is. And to know that I get a chance to leave with 2 of them is like a big deal. So it's a pretty proud moment, but I give all that back to my mom.
All right, so masters, what are you studying for your masters?
Higher education, but with a track of sports management, because I honestly don't know what I'm gonna end up doing with my life. So I have the undergrad if I want to do like marketing, management, that kind of thing, or the master degree would be more like if I do decide to coach. So I'm just prepared for anything that I can do coming out of college.
All right, your hometown is Steele, Missouri. You went to South Pemiscot High School, actually born in Kennett. So actually burst onto the scene in Kennett. So how much did being from this immediate area play into your decision to transfer from Missouri here to Southeast?
Well, if Steele had a hospital, I probably would have been born in Steele, but it was an easy decision, but I knew I wanted to come home because being at Missouri was great, but it was like a 5-hour drive. And my mom, we don't have transportation to do stuff like that, and so when I knew when I was gonna transfer, I was like, well, I have my trainer here, and I had teammates that were playing on the team at this time, and they spoke highly of Coach P, and I'm like, yeah, like. And I would have streamed their games because they would play on a Saturday. We would play on a Sunday. So I'd watch the SEMO games and to see the things that they were doing. I was like, yeah, like, that's a great place for me to go play and still be D1 and my family could come watch me play. And so then it's like, it's the Boot Hill. Like, this is where I'm from. Like, this is the area that no one pays attention to. But, like, this is my place. Like, this is my home. And so I talked to her a couple times on the phone and things like that, and I just like, I have everything I can need right there at home, and so it was an obvious choice at that point.
All right, we referred to you before as the Woman of Steel, and so as you get ready to head to Evansville to take on Belmont, you just played them, the most prolific three-point shooters in the league. You and Darby Maggard head-to-head again here in less than a week. What do you have to do? You guys were that close to getting them on Saturday. Maybe a whistle here or there, and the game could have gone a different direction. What are your thoughts on getting another crack at them?
We're hungry, and we've been playing our best basketball the last 2.5 weeks, and it's scary. Like you could see the fear in the opponent's eyes because it was scary for us to be clicking like that. And I cannot wait to practice this week knowing that we're finna give our best shot on Wednesday. And we have like this confidence about us and like this deep care that we finally got to the deep root of. And when you got a team that cares about each other and cares about what we do on the court, you put those two together plus the things that we can control and what we bring to the table, it's scary for anybody. So I'm hyped. We're hyped. We're hungry, ready for Wednesday.
Well, we know you're hyped.
Yeah, so I can't wait for Wednesday because even if the shots aren't falling, you still have to guard us. We still have threats, 1 through 14, 1 through 13. Like, so they've realized that they have to bring out everything, and we're gonna bring out everything that we can. And Coach P's gonna make sure she pulls out everything that she can out of us. And so it's like we could do senior night all over again. So,
all right, now, are you on social media? How can if anyone's listening, how can they follow you on any social media platform?
Oh yeah, y'all can. My Twitter is @CarrieShepard4. You'll see a lot of funny tweets about my mom.
Okay.
So you can follow that. I'm on Instagram. I'm on all that stuff. Just type in my name. I don't have
@CarrieShepard4. If you want to learn more about Carrie's mother, who put the word care in her first name, so that's good. The Woman of Steel joining us, Carrie Shepard. Best of luck Wednesday. We'll see you over in Evansville.
Thank you.
All right. That's going to do it for the Red Hawks Coaches Show. Thanks to Coach P. Thanks to Carrie Shepard. And don't forget, Wednesday, Red Hawks are going to shock the OVC. It's a 1 o'clock tip-off with the Belmont Bruins, and you can hear it on our sister station, Real Rock 99.3, online realrock993.com, or you can download the Real Rock 99.3 app free on your app store. Thanks to Mike Reddick, Dean Field on location. Sorry we squeezed out Nate Savarino. He was busy kissing babies and signing autographs anyway. But maybe next time with Nate Savarino. We appreciate him being willing to sit in with us as well. And don't forget, Red Hawk baseball tomorrow has been canceled. No game with St. Louis University, but they will Wednesday at 1 o'clock. The Salukis from SIU Carbondale will be in town. We'll get you to the Stephen A. Smith Show on ESPN Radio. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, everybody. So long from Wings, etc.